Morning, welcome to the vlog. So today I'm going to be talking about my current fatigue and about me running a marathon on a half marathon course. That doesn't really make sense, does it? I'll explain later, but first some plogging. Boom! Cool, we've got a brand new bin for the cyclists. Oh, I'm gonna have to christen that with this. It's not a full bag, but I'm gonna have to do it. Boom! Boom! Okay, we're 12 kilometers in and just in the beautiful dunes, but I've just seen this and I'm going to pick it up. There was a family just on bikes, just cycled past there as I was just getting my glove on. They went, oh, what a mess. So I just shouted out, don't worry, I'm picking it up. Okay, welcome to the vlog. So let's just quickly talk about two things. I don't want this to be too long, but first of all, an apology. I really wanted the next video that I did to be the World Plogging Championships, that summary, but as you'll see in this first half of the story, it's just I just haven't got the energy to do it at the moment. So, and it really deserves to have a great video. So I've started back with these short ones, hopefully short ones, but the Plogging World Championships is coming. But yeah, I just need to pace myself. So let's get straight into that first topic, fatigue. So when I did the World Plogging Championships, I was completely exhausted afterwards, and I always put that down to I put so much 110% mental and physical effort into winning, and then maybe the disappointment of coming second. So I assumed that I was fatigued because of that, and then 2 weeks later I did the marathon, the Amsterdam Marathon, and then the fatigue was still there, and I thought, oh yeah, but I just did a marathon 2 weeks after this huge event, so what did I expect? So I was always putting it down to that, and I was having these feeling really struggling to get some distance in, and then sort of feeling better, and then sort of just going for a run, then the next day bang, it's sort of exhausted again. And yeah, I was just having these relapses and I couldn't figure it out. And I think the truth is I'm not saying I had COVID, I'm not saying I've got long tail COVID or anything like that, but for me it feels like that there is a virus that I'm recovering from. So I got a cold shortly after the marathon, or maybe that was a virus, maybe it's that compounded with everything else. So whatever it is, there's definitely an impact in terms of my energy levels, and it's really sort of thrown me back. Normally I would do around 70 kilometers of running a week. Now I'm down to sort of 36, and I can sort of get a 5 kilometer, 6 kilometer running, and I'm exhausted. End of the work day, I'm completely exhausted. So not to the point like some horror stories you hear where they have to go to bed, not like that, but definitely it's just a real struggle getting out of bed and everything. So that fatigue is there. But I've just done 80 kilometers of running this week. This was a real shuffle. So I've just done a half marathon, and it was a real shuffle. I was sort of going along at 7 kilometers per minute, so 7 minutes per kilometer, and that is a real shuffle. I just didn't have the energy, but I wanted to get the distance in, so I'm sort of trying to build it up. I'm trying to be sensible, so if I feel like I'm pushing myself too much, I will stop, don't worry. So, but apologies that the World Championship Plogging video is not coming out, and I'm not, maybe my sort of enthusiasm levels are down a bit. It's just I'm just sort of recovering for something, and hopefully it's going to sort of clear up in the next few weeks because of the next thing. So let's move on to the next one, because what's telling you how fatigued I am without telling you the crazy plans I have for January. So let's get started with that. So what's the crazy event? Well, my favourite running race of the whole year has always been Egmond Half Marathon. It's in the middle of winter, it's in sort of the second weekend of January, and it's along the Dutch coast and against the wind. So you do sort of like 8 kilometres on the beach against the wind. You're just fighting the elements, and then you head into the dunes, and you've got this sort of undulating duneland that can be really slippery, or sort of even is a tougher than normal sort of road race, even though it's on sort of cobbles. So it's a real tough event. I think it's, you know, you now get these crazy, just ridiculous events now. So I'm not saying it's like that, but it puts about sort of 10 minutes extra time on your half marathon time for me. So, you know, it is a tough one. And for the length, you know, it's celebrating God knows how many years now, decades it's been running for. So you know, in terms of epic, it's got that pedigree that goes with it, and it's just really, it has always been my favourite one. I'm always stressed if I haven't been able to do it. I've even done it with my arm in a sling once. So I had a bike accident, I got a plate in my shoulder, and that was in sort of October time, I think, and then in January I was running the race very slowly with my arm in a sling. So yeah, I've done some crazy sort of determination to do that race. I want to go even bigger. I want to turn this into something sort of truly epic. So what I'm going to be doing is running Egmond like I normally do. I get over the finish line, I change, and I go and run it again. I'm doing 2 laps. I'm turning Egmond Half Marathon into a marathon. The second lap is completely unofficial, it's off the books, and it's going to be completely self-supported. But what I'm going to do is pick up trash. I'm going to plog that second half, that second lap. I'm not going to be focusing on the water stations because the organisation do an incredible job of sort of tidying that up. But I want to sort of draw attention to maybe the energy gels I find on the way that people are just dropping, or the bottles, or even what spectators are dropping, or just walkers that are just out and just dropping trash. So I want to sort of focus on that and get the place pristine. Now the organisation do a great job, as I say. It's not to draw attention to them, it's to draw attention to everyone else that is actually out there dropping the trash. So that's my intent. I did reach out to the organisation. I'm going to try and be a bit positive here because I was a little bit gutted that they didn't give me the response I was hoping for, but I can understand it. I'm just this regular guy with a crazy plan, and health and safety is so ridiculous now. They're probably scared that I'm going to sort of have some sort of injury, especially as it's sort of self-supported. So what I really wanted was them to put me in one of the start groups, so the start waves. The reason being is I've got an entry, and it's just with the normal people, and so in front of me there's like 20,000 people running this race or something ridiculous. So in front of me you've got the elite runners, fair enough, and then you've got people who are a member of the organisation, sort of like part of their group, Le Champion. They then go, they can be really slow runners. Then you've got the business runners, you've got the competition ones, and then you've got the recreational ones, and those recreational ones are just jogging around as part of a business team. You know, they have different goals to what the real runner, or not the real runners, but what the runners in the first wave of the regular runners are sort of after. So you're having to fight through on a very sort of narrow beach against the wind, all of these runners on sand, and it's a real battle. So what I asked the organisation was that they could sort of put me ahead. I could get a race licence and go ahead. It doesn't cost any more money to enter the race, but you do need to be a member. And I always used to do that, but I'm not thinking, why am I spending €60 a year just to have a race licence for one race a year? So I stopped doing that. So I'm just with the regular runners now. I asked them to put me ahead. I've got a ticket. They don't have to pay for anything. Just put me in a different way. But they're not buying it. So they're not sort of inspired by my story. So it's going to be the first run's going to be a real battle anyway, just fighting against everyone. And then I'm going to turn around and do it all over again. So, but these things, I kind of look at them as like, okay, it's an obstacle. I can't do anything about it. I've tried to contact them, but it's not happening. So let's just make it even, it makes it even more epic, right, if I do it. So that's my thoughts on that. So yeah, all of this is going to be with the caveat of, am I fit? Is my fatigue going to be recovered? So that's my plan. I am going to be realistic and say if I'm not in a good state, then I won't. But that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to get this half marathon in today. You know, we're still 2 months out from it, so hopefully everything will change around. I'm not expecting to get a great time in this race. It's all about sort of raising awareness for the plogging. So hopefully it'll come through, but I will listen to my body, I promise. So that's it. Fatigue and crazy plan in 2 months' time. With that, have a great week, and apologies again for the world plogging video. It will come, and it will be hopefully, well, it's going to be long. I'm not going to say it's going to be epic, but it's going to be long, and it should give you some insights into the whole day and how it went, etc. Thank you so much for watching to the end and hearing me waffle on like normal. Don't forget to like, subscribe and all those things. Leave a comment below, and I will see you next week. So the regular videos are back, and I'll speak to you next week. So I'll leave you with a nice little bit of footage of me shuffling along on today's run. Cheers.